Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. What we're going to be doing today is doing some bark grafting. Now what I have behind me here is a pear tree, and it is going on 5 years old now. It's produced no fruit for me. And when I planted, of course, it was 2 years old in a pot, you know, about yay high. I knew nothing about fruit trees then. Not that I know a whole lot now, but I know a lot more now than I did then. It's produced no fruit for me. It blooms, but it produces no fruit. And there's probably one of two reasons. One, that it is not the correct variety of pear for the zone that I live. So when you buy fruit trees, you got to look at what zone it's good for. Usually when you go to a nursery, they're usually for that zone. But sometimes they slip a few in there that are borderline. So I live in zone 8. So when I go to look for a fruit tree, it's got to fall within whatever, you know, zone 6 to 9 or 4 to 8. But it's got to fall in that zone. This I don't know. I don't even remember what variety of pear it is. So I'm kind of in the blue right now as far as what variety it is and what zone it's good for. So that's the thing you got to look for. You got to look for what zone it's good for. Another reason why it may not be producing fruit is it's not self-pollinating. You need another variety or a different pear tree to be able to pollinate with. So it's not self-pollinating. So look for that when you're buying a fruit tree. See if it's self-pollinating or it needs another variety next to it or nearby so it can cross-pollinate. This I don't know. So it's one of the two or both. So I have two pear trees that I planted a few years ago. One is a Bartlett, which is good for zones 4 to 8 if I remember correctly. And I have a Warren pear, which is good for zones 6 to 9. So I'm in zone 8. That falls a little better in my zone than the Bartlett. The Bartlett is zone 4 to 8, and I'm right at the outer edge of that zone. So I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna go with the Warren pear, and I'm gonna graft that Warren pear into this unknown pear tree here. But what I have to do first is I gotta clean off all the branches. I gotta bring it down to a stub basically, or stump. And we're gonna clean it up real good, and we're gonna graft in the Warren pear into this pear tree. Alright guys, so now we got the majority of the tree taken off. Now we want to make a nice clean cut over here. Alright, the next thing we need to do is you need to get yourself a nice sharp knife. Okay, maybe this is a little too big. This will work better. A nice sharp knife, and we're going to clean up around the edge of where we just cut on that stump and get it ready for grafting. Alright, so this is my Warren pear tree, and it needs some pruning. But I'm going to take probably this one right here. You need to take it off a 1-year-old growth from last year. So this one here needs to be pruned anyways, and it looks like we're going to take it from this here. I'm going to cut it down short here. Go. And we're going to take a couple of cuttings out of this and put them on the other stump. I'm going to take this one too. Alright, let's get started. Alright, now that we got our cuttings, or the scions as they call them, what you want to do is take a section out that you want to use. But you want to take about 3 to 4 buds worth of cutting here, and we're going to use that. Okay, so let's do something like 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll use this one. One, 2, 3, 4, and we'll cut it about right there. We'll use these two right here. And you know what? I may go one more. Cut that off there. We'll go 1, 2, 3. Cut it off there. We'll probably do 3 in here. I'll go 1, 2, and 3. And we'll try that. Now we need to take the cutting at the base here. We see the buds are running up here. At the base, we want to do is cut it like this. Not your finger, but the cutting. This is not the sharpest knife, but it'll work. And that's pretty much what you're looking for. Something like that. And that'll work. So I made a little cut, and then I lifted the bark away from the cambium layer like that. Now we're going to get our cutting. We're going to slip it in there just like that. Alright, so now we need to hold this all together. You can use a lot of different things. You can use electrical tape. You can use twine, natural twine. Parafilm is what I have right here. So it's really not too important. You just want to make sure these stay secured to the tree. Okay? So we're going to get some of this parafilm here. And we're going to start wrapping it around. I mean, parafilm, kind of think of it as shipping wrap. Basically is what it is, a plastic wrap. And we want to make sure it's fairly secure. And pulling it tight as you're wrapping it around. Alright, so now what we need to do is seal this up here. So I'm going to get some pruning sealer. I'm going to put a link in the description to the knife, all the knives that I use, the pruning sealer, down in the link in the description. So what we want to do is get some of this pruning sealer, and we want to seal this up from the rain, bugs, infestation, stuff like that. This will keep the bugs and the rain out. Now, here you want to put it on the surface here generously, okay? But right where the new cuttings are, the scions are, you want to really goop it up, you know, put quite a bit on there. And you want to seal that up really good, because we don't want bugs or water going in there. Want it all sealed up nice. Like I said, put a generous amount on and seal that bad boy up. You want to also do the tips of the cuttings because moisture will evaporate out of there too. You want to make sure the tips are sealed. You can see, guys, that it's all sealed up. And the tips. All the tips are sealed. Alright guys, that is about it. Couple rules of thumb. The cuttings that you take and the tree you're putting it on all have to be dormant. Okay, it has to be during the winter or very early spring before the trees start to bud and wake up. The cuttings you're taking have to be dormant, of course, and have to be 1-year-old cuttings or branches from last year, basically. So they're going to be roughly the size of a pencil, more or less. Okay, and you saw how I connected them on there. Wrap it with either electrical tape or a parafilm or twine, whatever you want, and you just want to secure it to the tree real good. And then put some grafting sealant on there, and hopefully this spring those will start to bud. Also, put the sealant on the tips of the cuttings to keep those from drying up, because they are cut, and you don't want moisture evaporating from there. That's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully this spring this will take off and start budding and producing some leaves and start to grow. So we will see. I will keep you up to date this spring to see what happens. Alright guys, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and please like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.